Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to talk about Thelon and the Havenwood as our 265th deck on the wall. Wow. Thelon is, by the way, this deck list is out on Tapped Out. I will put the link in the little box down there so y'all can see it. Tapped Out, this is probably one of the cheaper decks at $52.42 as of today. So obviously from that number you can tell there aren't any big cards in here. But Thelon, he gives the Fungus +1 for the Spore counters on them. So the first thing I went to was not necessarily Saprolings, but the Fungus that by default make them. Now, I had to a little bit into Saprolings to make it kind of work, but I didn't want to just build another Saproling deck, Anyway, the beautiful part about Thelon here is that black-green activation, allowing us to play with black. Now, there's not as many Funguses as we think there is, so let's kind of go through them. Tukatung Thalid just replaces itself. Now, he does not put Spore counters on him, but we've got cards to do that. So, Savage Thalid. Now, some of these in Fallen Empires, we got the add the Spore counter every upkeep, remove 3, get a sapling. However, in the Time Spiral block, we got some different abilities. Like, we got all that with Savage Thalid, but we get the regeneration. Now, the Ancient is amazing because it gives creatures you control remove 2 instead of 3. So that he's really good. He's also a 4/4, which doesn't hurt. Then, of course, we have Thalid Germinator, to where you get the +1 option. Thalid Devourer. Oh, man, these Fallen Empire cards are dark printed, ain't they? Also a combat trick. Thorn Thalid. He just does the thing. Vitaspore. I do need, like, the Psychotrope and the Utopia Mycon. Totally need those. Don't have them. Thalid Shell. Now, I like the Death Spore because it does give us a way to kill things, which we're not really hurting for a way to kill things, but as it's the only black fungus or the only black Thalid. Of course, we just have good old-fashioned Thalid. He does what he does. Now, the Spore Sower Thalid is the magic because he puts it on everything, on all your funguses. He's a real fun guy. I'm a dad, y'all know this. Feral Thalid. Just a big dude with that. Now, I really like Spore Flower. You can remove 3 to Fog. However, that's going to be removing 3 power from her, so I don't know. I say her, it's a fungus. And of course, we have Mycoloth. Now, there's a really good chance Mycoloth is just going to eat a ton of Saprolings because that's how he rolls. And then he's going to create a ton of Saprolings. So, now we've got helper creatures that are, not necessarily funguses. Like, we have the Elvish Farmer. Yes, that's a reserve list card. It's dumb. But he is an elf, but he does get the Spore. So, and he does have the whole, you can gain some life, or you can. Now, we have Winding Constrictor because there's no reason not to play this card. I love it. We have black. Not playing with the Doubling Season or of its ilk, because those are, my expensive cards. They're all taken, but trying to give a kind of different way. And then we have the Hermit, who's just going to make the dudes big and make some dudes when he comes. Now, Thalid-wise, we do have Spore Cloud, not to the Necrogenesis, or Necrogenesis. Yeah, I don't know what I was on that time. I love this because it lets you selectively hose that graveyard deck. Sprout Swarm is nuts. It is nuts with a ton of tokens because it's buyback and you can just tap 5 dudes and you play it for free. Now, this does work really, really well with some other cards. I had built a brother of mine back when this was standard legal, and it was crazy. Now we have Verdant Force to get all the saps every upkeep, and the enchantment that turns something into a Verdant Force. I guess let's go through a little bit of ramp next. We got our pair of diamonds. I mean, we got our charcoal and our moss. The 3 Golgari, the Key Rune, the Signet, and the Clue Stone. As far as duels go, there's, it's an enemy pair, so we takes what we can get. Cultivate, Rampant Growth, Farseek, which is, just going to get swamp. Search for Tomorrow, and, of course, Untamed Wilds. Now, I guess a little bit of card drawn here. We got a little bit of card drawn with Harmonize. We got a lot of card drawn with Skull Clamp. Because, I mean, Skull Clamp and Saplings, those are, or Saprolings. I got to watch out, because that's a copyright term now. I like me some Spore Cloud because it taps all blockers, and no creature deals combat damage, and attackers or blockers don't untap. So this is not a card I plan on casting while I'm involved in the combat. But if another player attacks another player and it's going to end well for me, you know what? Breathe some spores, guys. Also have Fungal Bloom, another Fallen Empire's Reserve card. Wait a minute. Focus up, dude. Oh, it's so old. You just green mana put some spore counters on, and since your general's giving it +1 for each spore counter, this is a beautiful, beautiful combat trick. I guess, yeah, I don't know. Contagion Clasp is our proliferate engine. Don't have the big one, but this one's good because most of our creatures do use counters. Golgari Charm, just good utility, same as Diabolic Tutor. Now, I chose Disturb Burial simply because we don't have a lot of creatures. We don't. I mean, natural creatures. So if they die, I'm going to want them back. And this is a, I mean, yeah, it's Raise Dead for 5, but we're going to keep doing it, I mean, it is a sorcery. That's the downside. Now, Overrun is, it's a understandable card, but I really like Echoing Courage because all them Saprolings have the same name. Now let's get to the removal, of which there is plenty. Ashes to Ashes. Exiles 2 creatures. I will pay that 5 life. I do not care. Avacyn's gone. Get her out of here. But because the Whirlwind is not going to kill her. The Wing Snare probably ain't going to kill her, but it'll kill a lot of stuff. Angels and Dragons and Demons. Oh my. Tranquil Path is going to shoot down all the enchantments. I am paying 2 more mana to be able to draw that card more than just Tranquility. Enchantments is a real thing. I can't tell you how many times I've died to Meagrim. That's right, Danny. I know you're watching. Uh, Naturalize, Desert Twister, Creeping Mold, Putrefy. Now, also got the pair of edicts. Well, I say pair, the trio of edicts: the Diabolic Edict, Cruel Edict, and Chainer's Edict to trigger the sacrifice on those because Earl the Miststalker is a beast. Actually, he may be a beast. Anyway, you target the player, you get him to sack it. Gets rid of that shroudy hexproofy stuff. Song of the Dryads, another way to deal with something you don't like. Doomblade and our mass removal is pretty much in Garrick's wake. The Disc of Larry Nevin. And Plague Boiler. I like Plague Boiler. It's a slower disc, but anyway. That is what I have got for Thelon. I'll admit, yeah, it is hard to build decks right now when all this stuff from Dominaria is out there, and that's all I can think about. I've still just got 10 started with Dominaria, pre-building them as much as I can. Love the fact we can get that stuff at the pre-release this time. I don't know. I don't know if that's a one-shot deal just for Dominaria or if it is going to be the new standard. Anyway, I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.